Hello everyone, this is World Car TV. I am Siddharth coming to you from India. Hello also to my delightful and lovely co-host Scotty, who's in the United States.
Hi to you too, Sid, and welcome everyone. This is a brand new show, a car show, and the first truly global one.
The World Car Awards have a global jury that is made up of jurors from 28 countries. And they have been busy testing cars that are now in the running for the 2021 awards.
And they're doing this while being super careful, following all the necessary health and safety protocols.
Yes, it's been tough, but the show simply has to go on. So, Scotty, what do you say we jump right into it now?
Yes, Sid, indeed we should. Our top story comes from our friend and colleague Guilherme Costa in Lisbon, Portugal. It's a car that has found a lot of intrigue and strikes some mystery. It's Honda's first all-electric urban mini car, the Honda E.
Greeting to all directly from Portugal. My name is Guilherme Costa and today I'm going to show you the new Honda E, the first 100% electric city car from Honda, the manufacturer based in the city of Tokyo. I know that the Honda E looks very friendly, but in fact this car is able to go from 0 to 60 in less than 8 seconds thanks to an electric engine with 162 horsepower. But more important than acceleration is the range of this car, and thanks to a battery with 35.5 kilowatt per hour of capacity, this car has a range of 200 kilometers. Will these numbers be enough to conquer the cities all over the world? Or maybe the World Car Awards 2021? We don't know yet, but what do you think about know a little bit better this car in this video? Inspired by the classic Honda N600, the new Honda E has a very compelling and modern design. Every single angle looks good. And it's only me, or his front end reminds a house pet. Maybe cute is the right word. Or maybe a four-wheel version of the Asimo, the friendly robot from Honda. In any case, the Honda E is definitely a head-turner. When the Honda E passes by, everyone looks. Now that we know the exterior design of the new Honda E, let's take a look inside, and trust me, you'll be amazed. Inside you will find a high-tech environment. The dashboard has not one, not two, but 5 screens. The screens on the end of either side are digital rear-view mirrors and offers a great resolution even at night. Speaking about the materials, they are very good, the assembly quality is very good as well, and the comfort is excellent. In fact, the Honda E is so comfortable that we decided to invite the former Formula 1 driver Tiago Monteiro to play Super Mario Kart while the battery charges. After a while, guess who won? Yes, me. But let's stick to the virtual races. On the road, the tiny and cute Honda is very easy and comfortable to drive. And I could say fun to drive as well. The engine power is always at our disposal and the McPherson suspension on both axles work seamlessly. And speaking about the performance, you can go from 0 to 60 in more or less 8 seconds. Not bad for such a small car. And speaking about the range, so important in an electric car, it's better to stay close to the city, the Honda E natural habitat. The 200 kilometers of range are real, but don't push it on the highways, it will drop very fast. Available only in the European and Japanese markets, the Honda E have some very direct rivals, like the new Mazda MX-30 and the well-known Smart 44. And speaking about prices, the Honda E isn't cheap at all. But look at him, it's a luxury city car, isn't it? I spent 5 days with the new Honda E and I have to say that it's quite hard not to love this car. Just look at him. He's well designed, well built and also very comfortable. Its range may be short, but is enough for a daily commuter. I hope you enjoyed to meet the new Honda E as much as I love to show it to you. I'm sure of one thing, it will not be easy to choose the 2021 World Car of the Year. Grande abraço from Portugal.
Impressive, futuristic, and yet kind of retro. The Honda E is certainly a car I cannot wait to drive. Thanks, Guilherme, for that. Now on to another car that's also on my most wanted list. It is also electric, and Volkswagen is betting big on it. The ID4 is the second electric from VW after the ID3, but this one is its global EV model. Our jurors in Germany got exclusive access to it, so here are Jens, Peter and Thomas bringing you various aspects of the ID4.
Volkswagen's big electrification strategy will revolve very much around the all-new ID4 that has just broken cover a few weeks ago. Well, at least for the short term, this car needs to be a big hit for the strategy to succeed. Let's step into an exclusive preview of the car with jurors Jens Miners and Peter Schwerdman. They spent time with it to bring you some first observations.
Okay, Peter, now we're inside the car, inside the ID4, and I have to say the dashboard looks familiar.
Yes, very much like the ID3.
It is a carryover part, the small screen in front of the driver, the central screen which comes in two sizes, all of that is familiar, but the car is quite a bit bigger. We have a lot of space in the front seat, but we also fit in the rear.
Yeah, and the trunk is as big as well, so it's a family car.
Definitely a family car. This is a car that really takes advantage of the electric platform, of the possibilities that the electric powertrain allows. And that's something you can't say of every electric car. You know, when you look at the Porsche Taycan, for example, which has the size almost of a Panamera, but the interior of a 911, I'm slightly exaggerating. But this is a car that takes full advantage.
Now that you know what it's about and what it's meant to offer, it's time to see how all that translates to on-road performance. So now, over to juror Thomas Geiger, who spent time driving the pre-production prototype in a very exclusive drive, even before the world premiere.
4 weeks ahead of the digital world premiere and 3 months ahead of starts of sale, we're here at the top secret proving and test ground Era Lessine to get a first insight of the vehicle that means the most to Volkswagen at the moment. The ID4 is powered by a single electric motor at the rear axle, in this case 150 kilowatts. There will be 4 variants of that starting from 107 kilowatts upward. And in the future there will also be a 4-wheel drive model with a second motor on the front axle, adding 75 kilowatts, meaning 225 kilowatts in total, or in the old currency, a little bit above 300 horsepower. This model here accelerates from 0 to 100 in 8.5 seconds and has a top speed of 160 kilometers per hour. The all-wheel drive model will go 180. Looking at the battery that is mounted in the floor of the vehicle, we have 2 choices for the moment, 52 and 77 kilowatt hours, equaling a WLTP range of roughly 350 up to almost 520 kilometers. The small battery can be charged with maximum 100 kilowatts, the bigger battery with 125 kilowatts, giving you a top-up from 5 to 80% in less than 3/4 of an hour.
The battery housing, which comprises aluminum sections and is protected by a strong frame, contains 12 battery modules. Each one of them holds 24 pouch cells with a flexible external sleeve. A base plate with integrated water channels regulates their temperature. Volkswagen guarantees that the battery will still have at least 70% of its original capacity after 8 years, or a mileage of 160,000 kilometers.
The ID4 does not only look like an SUV, so higher ground clearance, small approaching angles, all good if you go through the countryside. And the car is very versatile, because you don't only have a big trunk, you also have the roof racks and a tow hook in case you need it.
The big question on everyone's mind is, how does the ID4 stand up to the competitors here in Europe, but most pertinently, the Tesla Model Y?
If you compare the ID4 with the Tesla Model Y, the thing is a bit more interesting. For the first time ever, Tesla is fast follower and not the one that's leaping forward and is coming after the ID4. And other than, for example, in the Model 3 or in the Model S, Tesla has a kind of disadvantage when it comes to roominess. The ID4 is about 15 centimeters shorter than the Model Y, but offers about 6 centimeters more interior room. What speaks for the Tesla is the fancy design, the cleaner interior with only the big screen in the center console and nothing else, and for sure the brand that is unbeatable at the moment.
The Volkswagen ID4 is a large, roomy car, and yet, as our jurors told you, leaves room for the brand to look at bigger full-size models. Still, it is already equipped to take on a wide range of existing competitors. The rough road capability, even on the rear wheel version, is reassuring, as are the large boot, towing capability, and so many modern tech attributes in the cabin.
It's a global car, right?
It looks like that. They are talking about China and USA to join the market in 2021. So let's see.
How do you think it fares against the Tesla Model Y?
Oh, this is a totally different type of car here. I would prefer to have this, let's say, European quality in my car, but Tesla, of course, has the better image. So maybe the market will decide for Tesla, but in the long run, I think it will be cars like these.
Yeah, I think it's, if you want a car to show off, or if you want a fast car, then a Tesla is fun. But if you want a car that you can enjoy over a long time, I think the Volkswagen will be a better bet.
It is more versatile, more premium than the ID3, and it offers more space too. All for just 7,000 euros, or just under $8,200 more. Given government incentives towards EVs in some countries, this could well turn into a large volume model for the German mass brand, exactly as Volkswagen wants it to.
A significant car with tremendous potential. Okay, let's leave those EVs behind for now and get back to some proper combustion engines for the petrol heads. Now, it's a car that I drove in a very special part of this planet, and guess what? Canadian juror Gabriel Gelina was there too. Let's head across to Tenerife in the Canary Islands to take a look at 2021 World Performance Car contender Audi RS Q8.
Welcome to Tenerife on the Canary Islands for this first drive of the 2020 Audi RS Q8. Driving the RSQ8, you truly get the sense that this is a performance SUV. Of course, under the hood, you've got the 4-liter twin-turbo V8, which puts out 590 horsepower. It's an engine that's shared with the RS6 Avant and also the RS7 Sportback. It's also shared with the Lamborghini Urus. Of course, Lamborghini is owned by the Volkswagen Group, so the Urus and the RSQ8 share a lot of the same architecture and same engine, of course. So in terms of the performance, and in the case of this car, the V8, twin-turbo V8 is good for a 3.8 second run from 0 to 100k. In terms of the dynamics, it's again very, very quick through the corners, very stable through these fast bends, but you quickly get the sense also that it's heavier. It's a heavier vehicle than the RS6 Avant or the RS7 Sportback, and also the center of gravity is higher. So you've got to keep that in mind when it comes time to brake for the corners. You're just, carrying all that much more weight, and again, the higher center of gravity means that you need to slow down a little bit more for the corners. So under full throttle acceleration, like right now, you can hear the sound of the engine. It sounds a bit muffled, even though this car has the sport exhaust. That's because it's got the sport exhaust, but in European spec. So in Europe, this car is equipped with a particulate filter that tends to muffle the sound of the exhaust a little bit. But the RSQ8s that are going to be sold in North America will not have this particulate filter, so we should get an engine note that's, a little bit more throaty, a little bit louder, a little bit more in tune, really, with the character of the RSQ8. So the interior of this car is remarkably similar, of course, to the RS6 Avant and the RS7 Sportback, which means on the steering wheel you also get the RS mode button, which enables you to switch from mode RS1 to RS2. In other words, to really tailor these two modes for different settings. So you can really have one mode for more relaxed kind of cruising, and the other one for more aggressive performance driving if you're driving by yourself on one of these gorgeous mountain roads.
So in the end, the Audi RS Q8 is truly a performance SUV. It drives remarkably like the Lamborghini Urus. Both cars share the same architecture, the same engine, but the Audi RS Q8 will surely be less expensive.
Fond memories of a gorgeous island and a very growly sports SUV.
That did look like a lot of fun. Before we get to one more car though, let's look at the annual trends report. Cision Insights works with our jurors worldwide to survey their intelligence, their expertise, and their insights for their global automotive trends survey. Here is a sneak peek at their findings.
The most important industry trend for this year and also for perspective for 2021, right? It's, probably not surprisingly, the interior of the vehicle, connectivity and infotainment, right? Jens, why do you think that is the biggest winner of 2020?
I think it's the biggest winner, the most important topic, and the biggest winner. It surpassed number 2 because the car is becoming a living space, a safe space, a comfortable place where people feel secure, as opposed to, say, public transportation. So the interior, people want to feel comfortable, people want to be connected. I'm not surprised. It's a good topic. It's good news also for the design departments. The focus from exterior to interior is growing, and so that's a significant trend, I think.
Perfect.
Number 2?
Number 2, it's number 2 trend is not much less important than the first trend. It's BEVs, it's battery electric vehicles, right? And they've been on the number 1 and number 2 position over the last 5 years since we do that survey, right? It's a major trend, it's a major topic. It's not going away. That thing is for sure. Electric mobility is not going away. It's crucially important, and it hasn't lost importance during the pandemic.
True, but it has been surpassed by interiors and connectivity. But yes, it's been pushed by the industry, it's pushed by regulators, it's pushed by the media. So yeah, electrics, or the topic of electrics, is here to stay.
Bernd and Jens have much more for you. There are some very interesting findings and some of those trends will really surprise you. You can watch the full video with all the trends on our YouTube channel. Scotty, what about squeezing in one more car?
Sure, Sid, let's do it. The final car for today's episode is a popular global brand, the second generation of the Mercedes-Benz GLA class. It's now more SUV-like and it hits some high notes, as we found out from World Car juror from Poland, Maciek Patyński.
When you see the new GLA class Mercedes, it's hard not to quote the unforgettable Tina Turner. What you get is what you see. As the new GLA is no longer just an elevated A-class, sort of a crossover A-class. Here you get a fully fledged SUV with much larger wheels, with 30% more ground clearance. The new GLA, now as an SUV, comes with a variety of possible motoring, 5 petrol and 3 diesel engines, altogether 136 till 421 horsepower, plus in the close future a plug-in hybrid. The basic versions with front-wheel drive only, the more powerful ones optionally with a 4x4, the AMG variants with standard 4 wheels driven, all with automatic dual-clutch transmissions only, the entry versions with 7-speed, all the rest with 8-speed. The car in test is a 220 diesel of 190 horsepower. When you get behind the steering wheel, the first thing to notice is how elevated your seating position is, as it's 14 centimeters higher than with Mercedes A-Class. But still, the position, the ergonomics, are absolutely perfect. What's more, what is surrounding you here is what I call real Mercedes. The finish, the materials, everything, even the smell of this car is what people for 100 years have considered the feel of Mercedes, the highest automotive class. Plus, the spaciousness of this very model, the roominess, the airness of this cabin, it's simply something incredible, considering that this model, in terms of width and length, is actually precisely the same as what the former one was. Well, okay, it's 10 centimeters higher, taller, but still it does not explain this perception of freedom inside. The possibility of stretching your legs, of feeling comfy. I must say I am deeply impressed with this car, and if you add that the suspension is both very comfortable, the ride quality is very high, and in the same time you drive it like a, maybe not sports car, but sporty, if you know what I mean. The steering is very precise. The ride is exactly as it should be. Not SUV-like, no. You drive it like the A-Class, which is great to drive. Altogether, a real Mercedes, a real SUV, fun to drive, highest quality. What else can you say?
A very important car for Mercedes-Benz and a really strong contender for the 2021 World Car of the Year.
Very significant model, definitely. But we saw a lot of those today. So how about you? What would you like to see?
And in fact, you can check out all of the 2021 nominees across categories on our website, worldcarawards.com.
And then tell us what you'd like to know more about. And tell us if you like this show. And be sure to follow along on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for all of our updates.
And please do subscribe to our YouTube channel for more such videos featuring the world's hottest cars. Thank you for watching World Car TV. Belt up when you're on the road.
And wherever you are in the world in these difficult times, please stay safe and stay healthy.